go sideways. Are we sideways? Oh. Hello. We're trying to figure out if we're going to be sideways or not. Oh no, we're good. Okay. Holla. Oh, it's delayed.
Yeah, there is a little bit of a delay to it.
That's okay. Hey guys. Hello. Austin's here. Austin's watching. How's everybody doing today? I have a special guest. This is my cousin.
What's up, everybody?
This is Austin. We just wanted to jump on and talk about life. What's going on there? Life and just the crazy ride in it, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I think it's super important to talk about your journey in life. We all have a journey. We all have a testimony. Whether or not we use it, whether or not we talk about it, that is different. But I obviously have a platform on social media, and I think this is something good and healthy to talk about. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to let Austin talk first. So if y'all want to share this video, tag a few friends. We're just talking about life. That's it. And he's going to talk some about his journey. I'm going to talk some about my journey. And then we're going to conclude on kind of how we can relate to one topic. So, Austin, how old are you?
25.
Austin's
Yep,
25. Was born and raised here in Edenton. I've known him since he was a tiny little baby. I remember your mom dropping you off in Suffolk, and you were a little newborn baby, and you were laying in the bed with me and my mom, and you were crying, and I was like, he is too loud. You're going to have to put him somewhere else. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways.
Or when you threw a temper tantrum because you couldn't play with fire trucks instead of baby dolls.
Yes. Yeah. So I grew up with 3 boy cousins. So anyways, y'all say hey when you jump on. Let us know you're here. I'm excited to have Austin here. So we're going to get started. And so tell us a little bit about wherever you want to pick up in your life journey.
So, I'm Austin, 25 years old. I was born here, like she said, in Edenton. I was raised here till I turned 21-ish, and I moved over to Elizabeth City, and just recently moved back over this way. And some of that will tie in later on when we get down to it. I graduated high school in 2013. And my whole family has kind of been involved in public safety or public health my whole life. My grandma Bonnie, who passed away before I was born, she was a nurse for so many years, and a lot of people tell me I'm just like her now. My aunt's a nurse. My mom works at Chowan Hospital. My dad was a full-time firefighter for Edenton for many years, and then volunteer after that. My brother was a volunteer firefighter and also a deputy. And my other brother, as an athletic trainer for one of the big colleges on the western part of the state, Western Carolina. And so when I graduated school, I kind of knew that public safety or public health was kind of going to be my avenue. Yeah. It all tied in. And you had gone for nursing as well, some.
Nurse aide. Never went to nursing school. Shout out to all the nurses. Y'all are amazing. But anyway, go ahead.
Graduating high school, I kind of knew that that's kind of where my goal was going to be driven towards. And so fast forward to 18 years old, I finished my EMT basic the same week I graduated high school. So I graduated and got a certification the same week and went to work the following week.
Which is amazing. That is a very young age.
18 was definitely something that I was not expecting, when I graduated. But starting in EMS, I got my EMT basic, started EMS part-time with Chowan, and then went full-time with Bertie County. And started the crazy ride that's been 7 years now in EMS, whether it be part-time or full-time. And at 18 years old, you never think about the challenges that come with EMS. You just think about it being, it's a job, you know, it's going to be fun. You get to drive lights and sirens, you get to drive fast, you know, and it is definitely that and a whole lot more. Nothing prepares you for what you see and you come across in EMS. The day in and day out struggles and stress.
I can't imagine.
You know, at 18, I had started my first full-time job in October, and November, I had a bad wreck over in Berkeley County that involved a pickup truck hauling several people. It was like an excursion, and everyone was totally fine. They had left the roadway, they had hit a telephone pole, and that was it. You know, everyone was good. And a young boy was in the back seat and was scared because of everything that happened, and went to climb out of the window and fell on one of the live light lines that was there. And you know, and it killed him. And that's what killed him. It was no part of the wreck that actually killed him. It was because he got scared and tried to run away from his fear. And that's what ended up taking him away from this earth. And, you know, at 18, he was 13 at the time, so there was only 5 years difference between both of us. And I was not mentally ready to handle that. You know, for the longest time, I pushed it down inside. You know, I didn't talk to nobody about it. And it really took a toll on my mind, just because, you know, you don't know how to talk about it. You know, you try to save face. You're 18. You're tough. You know, you just got out of high school. Everyone, you know, you got a full-time job. There's no need to beat your chest. You know, you gotta show your macho, and that is everything but what you need to do. You know, fast forward a few years, a few more bad calls, you know, and I get drug in the middle of a murder investigation because of an EMS call. And that was one of the scariest times of my life, I think, was going on that scene at that time. And, you know, you can't prepare yourself for what you'll see. I'll say it over and over again, and I'll sound like a broken record, I'm sure. But it just, the things you come across it's unbelievable, really. Day in and day out, you see someone's loved one, you know, dying because of a car wreck, on an accident, or, you know, here lately drug overdoses have been crazy. I mean, crazy.
It's really sad.
And it's sad that it's striking this community the way that it is. So, you know, back in 2017, I decided to make the move from a paramedic full-time, and I went to law enforcement full-time with a sheriff's office in one of the local counties here. And while I was there, you know, I learned a lot. You know, I thought I'd get away from some of the avenues that EMS has, but you find yourself right back down in the same trenches, it feels like some days. The things you have to see, families you have to see that...
Bethany. He
Bethany
saved a life last night. We love our EMS.
She was with me last night at the hospital. She works, one of the nurses. Shout out to my nursing friends. You know, they're amazing. We love them. So we definitely... so going back to law enforcement, you know, I had become a canine deputy as well, and was learning the ins and outs of that. And during all of that, you know, sometimes life throws you curveballs you're not prepared for at all.
All the time.
Oh.
Life will throw you curveballs.
Yes. And during my 2 years at the sheriff's office, you know, life threw the curveball of separation and into divorce. Not a big area in my life that I like to boast about. You know, me and Annie both come from families that are very Christian background, and divorce is very what would you say? Not necessarily frowned upon, but it's just
Well, it's not something anybody
wants to happen.
wants to happen.
I mean, it's it's one of those things that
Hush.
it takes a toll on everybody, your family included.
Because if you didn't know, when you get married, when you marry someone, not only do you marry that person, but you marry their family too. So,
As crazy as they can be, you marry them all. But divorce hit me hard. 25 years old, 24 at the time when everything happened. And it totally destroyed me. I mean, it really did. It put me into a very dark place in life that I'm not proud of. It mentally pulled me away from my love of law enforcement. I had to walk away from law enforcement full time at the time because I mentally was not there to take care of myself, much less my partners. And that's a big thing. So going through that, I realized just how bad depression can be and how big of a toll it'll take on everybody. And because of that, I also learned how you have to be able to trust family. Family becomes your biggest support.
And your family sometimes isn't blood. Sometimes your family is, your best friends, those people that are there for you no matter what you're going through. I just wanted to say that.
No, yeah. I mean, you're 100% right. I had a couple close friends that I relied on heavily through this whole divorce that I've had to deal with. I've reached out to them numerous times, hey, am I thinking right in this situation? I don't want to overreact and do something wrong here. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that? And especially with my family, during all this, beforehand, I had actually probably, I was probably the furthest away from God I had been my whole life. I had nothing to do with Him just about. Sundays involved me laying in bed. I didn't care about getting up and going to church.
And that's how you know when you're falling into a depression. You isolate yourself. You go outside of your patterns of what you've done your entire life. Yep. Anyways, keep going.
So, as I got to where I was, not going to church, not caring about what other people thought of what I was doing. I
gotta hush these dogs up. Keep going.
I was running in all kinds of different directions. I was seeking other things in life to try to fix my problems, and that definitely was not what I needed. So I had reached out to a counseling group just before my separation, and I was going to counseling. I wasn't going as often as I should, and then started going more, and then it turned into a once-a-week type event for a couple months until I felt like, and my counselor at the same time felt like it was okay to start slowing down some. And man, I felt better than I ever had. I had gotten away from the demons, so to speak, that I was dealing with every day. During all of this, I got back closer to God, and now I'm closer than I have been in a long time. Now, by no means do I say I'm a perfect Christian. By no means do I say that, because I fall every day. Every day I do something that, that I'm sure does not please Him. But I'm trying my best to be better about it. And so in doing that too, I went through my brother Andrew. Finally got married last year, and we were all excited for him. But that was really tough for me because that came right after my separation.
Like literally.
Like literally the week after I got separated, it was his wedding. And so that week was very tough for me. But I tell you, that week also brought the Browder boys, and I'll say that as me, my dad, and my two brothers, it brought us closer than we have ever been. And this past year has been, unbelievable of how close we have all gotten again. Because we have all been through some very big trials ourselves in life. And it just, I can't believe where God has brought me full circle to be back close with my family like he has.
And we wanted to talk about this because so many people don't talk about divorce. They don't talk about depression. They don't talk about going to counseling because I feel like as a society, you feel that people will view you different. But in all reality, we know that everybody has a journey in life. Everybody has a testimony. Everybody has a road that is all over the place. They experience highs, they experience lows, they experience bad stuff, they experience good stuff. I have shared with my adventure with pharmacy and my previous company, Lime Life, I've shared a lot about my testimony, and I wanted to kind of speak on a little bit of my journey too. And the point of us telling y'all all of this is that everybody has a story, okay? And we can take our story, the good, the bad, all of it, and make it into something amazing. Because like he just said, it has brought him and his dad and his brothers together like they've never been before. And I can personally speak on my testimony. I'm just going to give a very quick summary of my testimony. When I left Edenton, I went to Raleigh, and let's just say I didn't make the best decisions. I didn't date the best guys. I didn't experiment in the best things. I was in a really, really dark place a few years after school, and I too pushed away God. I grew up Christian in church. I had a very good relationship with God, but I was also living a life that I was very ashamed of, and I wasn't ready to face that I was living that life. And I want to talk about God winks, because when you are disconnected from God and you're laying in bed on Sundays and you're not going to church like you used to, he still will speak to you. There are a couple of times I want to mention about my journey in Raleigh, in a very, very, very scary place in my life. I remember specifically going to this gas pump one day. I was about to leave Raleigh, and it was pollen everywhere, and pollen was covered on everything. And I went up to this specific gas station in Raleigh, to this specific pump, and I went to go get gas. And right there on the gas pump, someone had taken their finger and written, "God forgives." And that hit me like a brick wall, because not only that, y'all, like literally there was times where I pulled in someone's driveway. This is so crazy. I was still ignoring God. I was ignoring him, like pulling me in. I was pushing him away because I didn't want to face where I was in my life. I didn't want to face the things I did, the disappointment. I didn't want to feel those emotions. But I pulled up into this driveway, and it was like an open garage type thing, and it was pitch black dark. And I cut my lights off. I went inside, and when I came back outside, I didn't notice this when I pulled up, but when I was leaving, surrounding myself around people I shouldn't have been with, I cut my headlights on to back up, and literally in the back of the garage was this huge picture of Jesus staring at me. And I heard him loud and clear, and I said, "Okay, I hear you, Jesus. I hear you." But one thing I wanted to talk about was all these God winks, all these signs. I kept pushing them away. I heard him, but I kept doing my own thing. I kept living the life of sin that I wanted to live in, because that's just where I was at in my life.
It's like it becomes like a vortex. It sucks you down, and it doesn't want to release you, because it knows what's making you feel good, what's taking your pain at the time, making you feel like
you're out of
everything is
reality.
okay.
You're not living in a reality that is real. You're living in a dreamland.
Fantasy.
That's not life. But anyway, I went to Greenville one night with a few friends again that I should have not been hanging out with. But anyway, little did I know, you guys, I got in a wreck that night in Greenville. I totaled my stepdad's car. These crazy people were chasing me and this other girl that was with me, chasing us in a car. We were trying to get away from them. They rammed me in the back of the car 3 times, and the 4th time they rammed me, I ran off the road. I was not drinking or anything, but from them ramming me, I ran off the road, up into someone's front porch, through their front door, completely totaled the car. And I jumped out of that car and hit my knees. And it was just like everything just came together. I mean, I literally saw my life flash before my eyes. And I just begged God for forgiveness. And I begged him to get me out of that world I was living in. I wanted a new life. I wanted a fresh start. Now, this is the tricker, okay? This is the trick. I mean, not the trick, but the catch. I called my mom, and Lord, I hope I don't start crying. Okay. I called my mom, and her and Wynn came and picked me up. I thank God for Wynn and my mom all the time, and my dad and my stepmom, Jane. But I'm going to tell y'all, when they picked me up, little did I know, the night before, my family, Austin's family, my mom, my stepdad, had all gotten together and prayed for me.
For an intervention.
Prayed for me, for God to intervene in my life, for me to hit rock bottom. I didn't know that. But, y'all, God is real. Prayer is real. It works. And that day that my mom and Wynn came and got me, I changed my life. They said, you can go back to the life you were living. You can go back to Raleigh, or you can stay here and we'll get you help. And I did that. And I stayed at home. I got my help that I needed. That is, I did go to a counselor, but I also went to this amazing place that someone at the church referred me to called His High Places. I went there. It was somewhere in the mountains. I went there for a week. You couldn't have a cell phone. You could have no communication with your family. You're pretty much taken out of reality. And this amazing family opened up their home to me, and I basically had one-on-one counseling, Christian-based counseling with this amazing person who completely changed my life. And God spoke to me so much that one week. I couldn't turn on the TV. I couldn't browse Facebook. I couldn't do anything. Like I was made to only talk to God during that process, and that's what I did. And that kind of ties in with Austin talking about counseling and leaning on your family, and sometimes that family is your friends, to get you through these trials and these hard times in life. Because ultimately, why we wanted to share all this is that it's brought us to be better people. And our relationships with our friends and with our loved ones, our family, are stronger than ever because we have gone. I turned that on airplane mode. Sorry, guys. Because we have gone through these things, these trial and errors, these things that we couldn't predict that were going to happen in our life, it has built us into the people that we are. And yes, it's hard, and yes, it sucks sometimes, but it's so important to talk about these things with your friends or go see a counselor. You're not alone. Like, everybody has a journey. Everybody has a story.
And the biggest thing, I think, like, for me, is don't be afraid to speak out. Don't be afraid to admit that you need to talk to somebody. For the longest time, I was like, I don't need to talk to nobody.
And that's everybody. Everybody feels that way.
Yeah, I mean, everyone at some point reaches a thing where they're like, nah, we're good, I'm fine, I don't need to talk to nobody, it's not the cool thing to do, I can handle my own problems. Well, I can tell you, it is not the right thing to do at all.
Yeah, you're not going to handle your own problems.
Yeah, there's only one person that can handle your problems, and it's not you. I promise you that.
That's exactly right.
But yeah, what we really, I think the biggest thing we want everybody to understand is speak out if you need to speak out. If you need help, ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I'm 25 years old, like I said before. I haven't been very far in life, but I have been further than some. I've experienced some things that most kids my age have never and will never experience. Like I said, I'm not the perfect Christian by no means, but
there is no such thing as a perfect Christian.
You're right.
We are all sinners.
But I'm willing to help where I can. If it's a word of encouragement to somebody who needs help, I'll be the first to offer it. If you just need someone to talk to about a problem, reach out. Reach out. I mean, I know Annie for sure is more than open. If you need somebody to talk to, reach out to her. Reach out to me. She tagged me in this video, so if you need something, you can message me on my instant messenger. I'll get back with you. And if it needs to be, you need to work through some things in a little bit deeper way, we can do that too. We can put you in contact with somebody who needs to, or we can work through it together. If you don't want to trust anybody else right now, you just want to stay close right now.
We just wanted to get up here and share, be kind of vulnerable and share pieces of our life, because not many people do that. And that is why people sit back and think they are alone, because this is not stuff that people talk about. But know that you're not alone. No matter if your journey or your story is a little bit different, if it's not divorce, if it's losing a loved one, it can be anything. Like, we all have these hard times in our life. And as Christians, that is why we were here, to talk about our faith, to talk about how God has reconnected everything. No matter how far you stray away, it doesn't matter. And if you don't know God, we can talk to you about that too. Yep,
for sure. I mean, last year in September, I think it was September, because I was doing my canine training. I went and got a tattoo. I got this tattoo here on my arm, and it says, "Watch and stand fast in the faith, be brave and be strong." 1 Corinthians 16:13. And
I love that.
And so every day that I have a tough day, and I feel like I'm just kind of being drugged through the mud, I always look back. I have it right here, like it's right here in my eyesight, that I can look down at it and go, all right, you got to tough it out.
Yep.
Stand up, knock your boots off, and carry on with your day. So I mean, in the right times, God puts the right verses where you need them. I've cracked the book open many a times and just flop it open, and the first verse I looked at,
I love doing that.
Touches
me.
I mean,
I call it Bible dipping.
Yep.
And He will speak to y'all.
Yep.
I don't care what it is you're facing: depression, drug addiction, a divorce, the loss of a loved one, alcoholism, struggling with your faith, questioning why you're here,
finances,
suicide thoughts.
There's so many things.
You're not alone. Dude, you're not alone.
Nope. Not the first one, and you won't be the last one.
No.
Reach out, talk to somebody.
Reach out, please talk to someone. We wanted to kind of conclude this talking about self-care. Counseling comes in with self-care. Talking to someone comes in with self-care. Do not harbor all these emotions and these feelings to yourself. There is someone that can help you.
Yep.
There's someone that can relate to you. I'm not saying you have to get on Facebook Live and share your journey or your story like we have, but putting something raw and a good message like this out into the world with what our world is going through right now, we need to love one another, guys.
Unity. One word.
Love.
Unity.
Peace. Unity.
Yep.
Show people they're not alone. Send people messages on Facebook. If you see they're asking for prayer for whatever reason, send them a personal message.
Yep.
Show your love. You guys, we're not guaranteed tomorrow. you're here for a purpose.
Ask me firsthand. I do MS. You're not
Yeah.
here tomorrow. I mean, you're not granted it.
How do you want to be remembered when you're no longer here? Make the best out of your life. Make the best out of your journey of your life, your testimony. Don't be ashamed, because I'm telling you, you're not the only one feeling that way. So we wanted to talk about how important self-care was to conclude this, because Austin and I both have talked to counselors. We've rekindled our relationships in a stronger way with our family. We've dove in harder into our faith.
You know, and it's just like I said a while ago. You know, once you admit you've got something there that's holding you back, and you're able to move forward with it, and reach out and talk to somebody about it, the Lord will bring you full circle.
Yeah.
I mean, He will bring you out of the darkest valley.
I'm going to get my Bible real quick, because something's placing on my heart to Bible dip right now. Hold on, y'all. Don't leave us. Keep going. I'm going to get my Bible.
But, you know, the good Lord's going to bring you full circle one way or the other. You know, and me and Annie, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, doing this for everybody. And I messaged her last week, and I was like, hey, you know, I got next week off a couple days. I was like, we need to try to get together and do a session, you know, and we talked about it before we started. You know, this isn't us trying to draw attention to ourselves by no means, you know, because we're just two ordinary people. You know, it's not what it's about. It's about you guys. And if you need something, we can help you do whatever we can.
I don't know. I feel like, oh, that says Mother's Day. Let's see. I'm just seeing what I've... You read it. You read it.
So she flipped open her Bible, and she was looking around to see, you know, if something jumped out at her, you know, just like you would do with Bible dipping. And she opened it to Psalm 28. And so I was scanning, you know, over her shoulder looking, and it caught my eyes, you know, and the verse I pointed to was Psalm 28, verse 6. But I'll read... I'll read verse 5 to lead up to it. It says, since they show no regard for the works of the Lord and what his hands have done, he will tear them down, and he will never build them up again. The verse I picked out, verse 6. Praise be to the Lord, for he has heard my cry for mercy. I mean, that right there, I mean,
that's
what we have talked about already today is your cry for mercy, asking for help. Mm-hmm. I mean,
yeah,
guys, it's real. I mean, I don't know what else you need. I mean, it's you flip open a book, you flip open the Bible, and there it is. I mean, it's clear as day. You know, the Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusts him, and I am helped. My heart leaps for joy, and I will give him thanks to him in song. The Lord is the strength of his people and the fortress of salvation for his anointed one. Save your people and bless your inheritance by their shepherd and carry them forever.
I mean, that couldn't be any more perfect verse right there. And I'm going to write this down. What's today's date?
The 15th, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. Hold on one second.
The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in him, and I am helped. That is literally like a summary of what we talked about. But I'm going to write this. I think it is the 15th.
Yep. The 16th.
The 16th.
June the 16th.
1620. I'm going to write Austin beside it, so I always remember. But anyways, we just wanted to hop on and share that with you guys and let you know you're not alone. Feel free to reach out to us if you want to. And thank you all for jumping on. Feel free to tag anybody or send them this video in a personal message. If you feel someone is placed on your heart to share this message with them, feel free to do that. And
hopefully in the future we'll get together again.
Yeah, I would love
I've
that.
had a lot
we
of
can
fun
do different
again.
topics.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Austin was nervous. He's never been
definitely
on live.
was, but
y'all give Austin some hearts. Austin.
it was definitely out of my comfort zone. But now that I've done it, I mean, I actually feel very comfortable with it, you know. And
You know what I love about lives is like people get very self-conscious about live videos, and it is kind of intimidating to see people up here. But like when someone's going to reach out to you from this video, and that is why I do live videos. I mean, I do my pharmacy business, but I also talk about stuff like this all the time.
Yeah.
And when someone reaches out to you and you see and feel that you have made an impact, that is what's going to encourage you to do more. You may even want to do some live videos once or twice a week, reading out your Bible or talking about some.
I was just thinking doing this is, you know, definitely made it a little bit easier for me to talk, you know,
Yes.
through this. And I definitely, if there'd
They
be
call
some
you
people,
Rocket Red.
Yeah, I've got some buddies. This is Brian. He was at Burt T with
Hey,
me.
Brian.
You know,
It's a resource. Facebook is a resource that's free
Yep.
that anybody in the entire world can watch. So you are literally like putting yourself out there and doing what we've done today. I'm telling you, people are going to reach out to you and it's going to make you feel good. That's why I do what I do. That's why I love Facebook Lives.
Yep.
I love you.
I love you. So, I mean, that's kind of, you know, that's why we're here, guys. You know, we're here to help any way we can, you know, and I, you know, thinking about doing some Facebook Live stuff in the
should.
future, you know.
Or you can either use like Facebook stories. I mean, use your life, use your testimony. That's what I tell my girls all the time. Like, everybody has a different story, a different journey,
Yep.
and you can.
And I saw someone tagging a couple people
Oh, good.
through this, you know, because we're keeping up with everybody's comments and stuff, and that's what it's about, guys.
Yeah.
Tag people if you know somebody that's going through it. Tag
Yep.
it, you know, tag them, let them hear it.
No one deserves to think that they're alone in this world with anything that they're struggling with. So that is why we talked about what we've talked about. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Did you have anything else you want to?
No, I think I covered everything that was, you know,
Did good.
on my heart.
You did good.
You know, make yourself vulnerable.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
but thank you guys for chiming in and hanging out with us for a few minutes, you know.
A few minutes. I don't even know how long we've been up
I
here.
don't know how long we were up here either.
34 minutes, 37 minutes. That's not too bad.
No.
That's not too bad.
Quick little heartfelt message for you guys.
Hopefully it helps someone, and feel free to reach out to us, and thank y'all for watching and tagging and sharing and all the things. We love you guys. Let us know in the comments if you want us to do this, if you want Austin and I to do this together more often.
Yep.
I do think I want Austin to do my makeup in one video.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Because Ramsey won't do it. But anyways, Austin, think about a support group for guys. Yes, no trial is ever wasted. Yes, Miss Sherry.
I've had some people approach me about doing a group for first responders, you know.
That would be really
So-
awesome.
So we'll see, you know. I'll talk to a couple resources here in the community and see what their thoughts are.
I think you should definitely.
You know, I might reach out to a local pastor that we kind of know and see what his thoughts are
Yeah,
on
you
it.
should. That's a great idea. Love you guys. Thanks so much for watching. If
Thanks,
you're just
guys.
jumping on, make sure you go back and listen to this message because it was
Share it as
amazing.
what is it, a watch party that they
Oh
can
yeah, you can share it as a watch party. You
Yeah,
can share it
there
on
you
your
go.
page. You can send it in Messenger. Whatever you want to do. Love you guys.
See you guys.
Have a good Tuesday afternoon.
Yep.
Bye.